morning and welcome again. Last Sunday I went to Mass at St. Teresa's, and there we reflected on the beautiful relationship of respect and caring and delighting between Jesus and the sisters Martha and Mary. And when I came back to my little house on the hill, I switched on the telly to have a look at the program Compass, which is a beautifully produced program always, and sometimes some really good topics. But I was a bit stunned this time to see that the topic was the influence of misogynistic propaganda being fed to school children, especially school boys, and how this false doctrine, based on a false premise, is corrupting and disturbing students and teachers in schools. The false promise is that to be strong you have to dominate or put down or ridicule others. And they are doing this extensively to girl students and also to women teachers. And it was interesting then when come to this week, and here we have the feast of Mary Magdalene. And Mary Magdalene is that woman who Jesus cured completely, who also was one of the group of women that accompanied Jesus on his public ministry and supported that ministry from their own means. So she was also the woman who was at the cross, accompanying Jesus insofar as she could, but certainly accompanying Mary, the mother, in that time. And then 3 days later, Mary comes to the tomb where Jesus had been buried, and she sees the stone has been rolled away and the body gone. So she runs to find Peter and John and says, "They have taken away my Lord, and I don't know where they've put him." So they go back to the tomb. Peter and John find it empty. And Mary stays outside weeping for a while until she also looks in and sees there 2 angels. And they say to her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" And she says, "Because they have taken away my Lord, and I don't know where they've put him." Then she turns around and sees a man whom she presumes to be the gardener. And she says, "Sir, if you have taken my Lord away, tell me where you have put him, so that I might go and remove him." And then Jesus says, "Mary." And she responds immediately, "Rabboni," teacher, and hugs him. And then Jesus says to her, "Don't cling to me because I haven't yet ascended to my Father. But go and tell the disciples. Try and find the disciples and tell them, I'm ascending to my Father and your Father. I'm ascending to my God and your God." So Mary goes off, finds the disciples and says, "I have seen the Lord, and he said these things to me." Now it's a beautiful encounter between the risen Lord and his great friend and follower and supporter, Mary of Magdalene. And I think in today's world, what a beautiful model that is. Because Jesus made Mary the first witness of the greatest event in human history. How she was a woman in a society where women could not be witnesses for anything. They had no legal rights. And yet Jesus chose her to be his first and primary witness. So in today's world where we have such misogynistic influences in our schools that produce domestic violence and that really is based on fear, because there's no dialogue, there's no understanding, it's just imposition and power and bullying. So let's pray for our society, but let's pray for our schools. And let's pray for the kids, that they might be able to see how wrong this is, how harmful it is. In fact, in the evolution of humanity, I think it's taking us a pace back. Let's pray that we follow the example of Jesus, that be able to put into practice Christian principles of love and sharing, of inclusion, of respect, both in the family and in the schools and in society. Take care. We'll see you next week. God bless.